really excited you said that, because that's something we really concentrated on in our place.
Yeah, and it's not easy. I mean, I think that, when you think about games and activities, unless you know how to do it, you don't experience the reinforcing value of the activity, right? So if somebody just gives you a game and you don't know the rules, or you don't know how to use the materials, it's hard for the natural reinforcing value of that leisure activity to scoop you up and carry you forward. And so it is important that kids can also, participate in instruction, even if it's a little like, I don't know why we're learning this, but I'm going to go along with this, and I trust my teacher, and we're going to work on these skills, because once I've learned how to do it, now I can play with it. And so I think both are important. I get asked that all the time, well, if he doesn't want to do it, is it actually leisure? I was like, well, until he has the skill to do it, it's hard to decide, do I like it or not, right? And so it's
yeah. How do you know you're going to enjoy a novel if you don't know how to read first? We got to go through those ABCs, which, coming back to your point, which is a pivotal behavior, and you spoke about communication, and that would be one thing that if educators could focus on that more, it would help people. And folks listening to this need to think about, what would it be like if you were unable to communicate your wants and your needs to people? It would be very frustrating. You would do things to get those needs met. And I would suggest that everybody needs to improve on their communication skills, from not just students with disabilities, but that should be a pivotal focus for everywhere, adults as well, because a lot of problems occur because people are not communicating well, or they don't have the skills to communicate effectively.
That's right. Well, and I think, teaching communication skills, I think one thing I sometimes see is sort of waiting for the natural occurrence, right? And then trying to teach in that moment, which is important, that incidental opportunity. But if that's the only thing that teachers are doing, right, is teaching just in that moment, it may not be enough exposure to that learning opportunity. And so I think teaching teachers how to contrive more planned opportunities so that we can practice this and kind of get in front of the situation can also help and sort of speed along that process. And that's been really helpful to do, I think, with teachers.
Yeah, for folks that are listening to this that are maybe not into education, or anybody that's of sports, knows that I'm a coach, mixed martial arts coach. So that's like me teaching my fighter how to slip a punch outside of the cage. But now the whole goal is for them to get it to do it effectively and automatically when the fight comes. So I have to contrive a situation where they get high repetition of slipping in the cage. So I might make it so the opponent can only throw one punch, and it's a punch that you can only, that requires slipping, and they do it at 50%. And now they're getting high repetition of slipping, so I can shape that behavior a little bit more, and they can do it effectively. And then we start to layer some other things in. But if they don't have the opportunity, even if they can do it proficiently outside of the cage, now they need to know when to do it, and it needs to happen automatically. So we have to give them the repetition to create habit. Everything is about repetition in this case, and it goes right back to, that's the thing with these classrooms, man. It boils it down to the micro level, these details. So it's so interesting to hear about it there. So,
yeah,
okay.
What a great analogy.
Well, so what do you think now? All right, if we zoomed out a little bit, what does the school leader need to do more or less or differently to better support teachers and the students, right? What don't they know that if they just knew this thing or these two things, it would be better for them, and would be better for the teacher and better for the students?
I think this is when you need to invite an OBM person on your show. It's a complicated system. There's no easy solution here, but, I think positive reinforcement over negative reinforcement, over punishment, really, really focus, on just this replete, very intense focus on positive reinforcement. I think that's something that would go a long way in schools, and does go a long way in schools. And we've seen evidence of that in, positive behavioral sports, and that schools who have rolled that out, I mean, there's evidence there.
Well, when they're not doing it, how would they know they weren't doing it? Like, for example, what kind of pain points are they experiencing when, you know, those classrooms aren't running well and they've not established themselves as a reinforcer? What have you experienced?
You know, honestly, it's actually pretty easy to spot. You know, for the kids, children, and adolescents that I've served,